Hello and welcome back to Pro Coaching Tips. Rich Maloney here from Quality Mind Global. Today I want to share with you a really powerful model that myself and our 30 plus coaches teach in our weekly live group coaching sessions. This model here really allows you to understand and how to get in flow. And what I mean by flow means when you're in flow, life flows to you. So that means things work in your favor. You start to realize the universal language of life. And when you're in high flow, you're in high energy, high awareness. And when you're not in flow, you're chasing life. Okay, so this model really underpins the understanding of how to get in flow really quickly and also reaching your dreams really quickly. So having coached now for over 2 decades, 800 coaches, thousands of people, this model, when adhered into your daily existence, is a game changer. So to cut straight into it, to really develop yourself, it's about learning new tools, having high levels of awareness, and lightening up a lot of the things that you have learned over the course of your journey in life. And so to get to your dreams, and why so many people don't reach their dreams, is one, they don't work on themselves enough, they don't remove their limiting beliefs, they don't get in flow. And so let's go. So this is all about flow. And this I'll refer to it a lot with the elite athletes and the elite teams I've worked with, plus high-level executives, mums and dads. And it's more about flow. It's all about removing and handling anxiety. It's about getting into that slipstream of life where you're at your best. You're becoming the next best version of yourself. And the answers are all within. So everything I'm going to offer you today, really, I'm just reminding you what lies within you. And then you choose to activate that. So let's look at this as a metaphor. So you see here, to get to your dreams, it's like climbing a mountain. And so here we are, we're down the bottom of the hill here, and we want to get up to these dreams and so forth. And it can be a job, like whether dream be you want to start an online coaching laptop business, or whether you want to have a really more in-depth loving relationship with your kids or a partner, or you want to just be generally more happier in life. This is a powerful model to fast track that. So again, I teach these concepts for people to live a fast track towards their dreams. Most people are on a slow track. And when I implemented this into my life many, many years ago, wow, I can tell you that I just started living towards my purpose, my passion, and everything worked out. Albeit you've still got to walk the mountain, but how quickly can you get to the top of the mountain? So to get to the top of the mountain, there's 3 things you need to have in equal partnership and equal balance. And so to get to the top of the mountain, you need to physically walk to the top of the mountain. You need to think your way to the top of the mountain. And as you're going up the mountain, you need to have high levels of intuition. And that really is because, if the winds come in, or there's a detour required, or a roadblock, you need to sit quietly and go, okay, what's my gut heart feeling saying here? And so getting in touch with your intuition. In fact, you couldn't walk up the top of the mountain without all 3. Okay? In other words, if you were to drive up the top of the mountain, like you need a vehicle, you need someone to drive it, and then you need a GPS system to roughly know where you're going. And so again, if you had one of those parts, you wouldn't be able to get to the top of the mountain relatively quickly. You wouldn't even know where you're going. And that's like a lot of people in life. They don't know where they're going in life because they're unconsciously just going through it. I'll just turn my phone off here. Okay. So in other words, what we're saying here is body, mind, and soul. Okay. So when we say soul, that can be spirit. It can be your higher mind, your intelligence center, whatever it may be. There's a flame within us, an eternal flame of energy that sits and permeates through us, to allowing us to have this human existence. We come from a higher level of intelligence. The reason why we're on planet Earth without any memory of where we come from is because we're not supposed to know. We're here as humans going through this experience to experience and express and to design forward. How do you want to live this life? Before you know it, it'll be over. So we get to create ourselves. We get to experience this life. We get to express what personality we are. And so within that is this essential energy. Okay, so I'll come back to that in more detail. But most importantly, when we look at these 3 categories, critical components all need to be in equal balance to get in flow, to get to your dreams really quickly. So we know roughly in this day and age, in Western society, educated relatively, we know how the body operates. You need hydration, you need food, you need shelter, all the basic things. And so we're going to remove that body in just a second. We're going to remove that out of the way. So let's look at in more detail at these two here. And so with the mind itself, it's important to understand that generally speaking, the mind has the mentality of a young adult, 12, 13, 14-year-old, okay, who's really demanding, it's argumentative, it's judgy, it's high victim, taking not much responsibility in life. I know I was like that when I was a kid. And it really has the mentality. Think about that. When you wake up in the morning, you sort of go about giving yourself a hard time. If an email hasn't come in that you want a response to, you really beat yourself up. You worry about the future. And there's a lot of head junk that goes on. If you think about the head junk that goes on in your head, really, I mean, I'm 50 years old. Would a 50-year-old person actually say that to a friend? Would a 50-year-old person say that to himself? Well, that happens, right? It does happen. You have a bad night of sleep and then you go into worry. You worry about the future, finances, relationships, health, all these key areas. So generally speaking, the mind has the mentality of a young adult, a young adolescent, I should say. And its role, quite simply at its core, is like a child, okay? So it's like a child. And so it acts like a child a lot of the times. Yes, you can get logic and have reason, but generally speaking, your inner world is childish, okay? And so what that means is its role, quite simply, is to keep you safe. So the role of the child mind is basically for evolutionary purposes to make sure you're safe, because we live in a fear-based environment. Just check the news out. Just look at, have listened to our parents, and they've all lived in fear, because the child mind has taken over completely and has really, it dictates our reality. And so if we let the child mind go crazy, if we don't harness and control the child mind, it really takes over. And this is where anxiety sits. This is where burnout sits. This is where frustration, this is where your health suffers. Because what's happened here is, yes, its role is to keep you safe. So you walk into a new environment, you assess the situation, but still it overthinks everything. Overthink, worry about this, worry about that. I'm not good enough. All these common misconceptions and delusions that we tell ourselves, at its core, it's here to keep you safe. It's done its job. Because you walk into that room and then you're safe. Because what happens is, as you get into young adult life, you're safe. You realise how to cross the road. You realise some people are untrustworthy. You realise what's right and wrong. You do have a handle on being safe. But because we've given the child mind, the mind within us, so much attention, it basically thinks it is us and it runs the show. But knowing full well that you're basically being mentored by a 13-year-old. You're listening to a 13-year-old in your head, because the thoughts that come through aren't your thoughts. They're a thought that comes from your program, your thought that comes from your triggers, your subconscious mind. Initial thought is worry, concern, I'm not good enough. All these triggers come from your upbringing. So to first and foremost understand that it's playing its role. The child is playing its role. Okay, it's here to keep you safe, but it's been given far too much attention. It's got the microphone in its hands, and it's just yelping into your ears. It's assessing, judging, criticising, unforgiving, and often not very supportive, because it has a high level of demands that has to take place for you to exist. So I want to park that, but just to most importantly understand that the child mind is literally a young adolescent. It has the mentality of a young adolescent. And just think about all the worries and concerns that you've had over the last day, 2 months, whatever it may be, and just think about the mentality of the conversations that you've had with yourself. Okay, as opposed to the mastermind. So we're going into the soul here, and this is where the intelligence sector lies. And this really is your master. So as you can see in the background here, it's like your Sherpa. The master, the high mind, we call it the mastermind. The higher mind within us, the intelligence center, really is sitting there within you right now, activated but not being listened to, not being connected to. And it tries to guide you through instinct, through passion and purpose, and through certain images and symbols around that and just it has many ways of the universal language that it communicates with you. And so at its core, the master within you has already got the dream. Your master within you, say the dream up here. Oh, the master within you, the dream up here. It's like it's telling you that dream is available to you because it lights you up. It's exciting. It's passionate. It's purposeful. Like you want to get that dream. So that's how you get connected to your high mind. It talks you through excitement levels. And so at its core, this really is a Sherpa to you. So it's at the top of the mountain saying, Rich, you want that dream? You want that dream of a laptop business? You can achieve that. It's available to you. I'm going to make you feel great about that. And so then we follow the breadcrumbs. And this is how people fall into living their purposeful life, because they're listening to the dream. They're activating upon the dream, where the child mind will come in and say, you can't do that. You're not good enough. There's no way in the world you could activate that within the next year, 2 years. You'll lose your family over this, your friends. You won't have the finances. All these things that chip away and filters down our dreams. But inside, the master itself is like saying, okay, I'm here for you. You can achieve this. Follow your instincts. Follow your passions. I'll guide you there. I'm already at the top of the mountain. In fact, I've walked the top of the mountain. For those that don't know what a Sherpa is when you go to Mount Everest or somewhere of significance, you hire a Sherpa, which is a guru type person full of experience that's been to the top of the mountain multiple times. So it knows the terrain. It knows how to bunker down if the winds of change are coming in. And it knows intuitively where to go because of experience and so forth. So within you is your own Sherpa. So to get connected more to your Sherpa is that intuition, is that's that knowing, that's that passion, and all these concepts that really focus in on why we want to live a passionate life, because within us is the master self. So what I'm saying here is to separate the two. Okay, so this is why this defining line here is so important, because when you really understand the concepts of each of the three categories, the body, mind, and soul, they all have a role to play, but they all need to be in equal balance. So the child mind is very important to have. So it's not about disconnecting from your child mind. It's about knowing the limitations of the child mind, knowing that its role is basically to keep you safe, to assess, to judge, to make sure that the environment is what you want to do, and then it can think through things with you. But it has never been to the top of the mountain. It's never been there. So it doesn't know there. So it's going to stop you from wanting to reach your dreams because it's never been there. Its job is just the here and now to assess and then to make sure that everything's going to be okay. But because we've given it so much attention, it thinks it's you all the time, and it's consistently criticizing, judging, stopping you and holding you back from reaching your dreams. But when you know that that's its role, and you can then take this microphone off the child mind and put the microphone more in the mastermind, and you really start moving your thoughts, your feelings, and your focus towards your master, this is when things really start lighting up. This is when things start coming in flow, because in flow is that a connection, is that higher energy coming through, is that awareness. So the less worry goes on and more excitement. So when you move your attention from child to master, a lot of the times, you start to feel more relaxed, your nervous system settles. And so to do that, just to sort of move this out of the way a bit, to do that is to actually step into the third person, which is the coach's box. So your own inner coach's box. Excuse me. So once you know that your child mind is just a personality typeset within you, and it's got a role to play, and it's the role to keep you safe, but it's given far too much far too much attention, authority, I should say. And so what we want to do then is step out of our thoughts into the coach's box, in your own inner coach's box, and have a look at the thought and go, does that come from a young adolescent mind mentality? Yes, it does. I'm worrying about tomorrow. I'm worrying about this. I'm in the past. I'm in the future. I'm judging myself. I'm not good enough. All these sorts of things, you've got to understand that that's the mentality of a 12-year-old, 13-year-old, whatever it may be. And so stepping into the coach's box allows you to assess the thoughts, and then you can quickly divert your attention over to what would my inner Sherpa say? It's all good, mate. You've got nothing to worry about. Focus on what's exciting. Be kind, be friendly, look after yourself, get some sleep. You've got this. But then in comes the child mind and overreacts. It's like, no, you've got to worry about tomorrow. You've got to not forgive yourself for yesterday. You've got to, all these demands. So the reason why we want to say move out of your child mind into your mastermind, because not only that, it allows you to get more connected to your higher mind, your intelligence center. And your intelligence center has a natural guide within it. It has a beacon of energy that floods through your cellular structure that, when tapped into, you become the best version of yourself. So you're dissecting the conversation from child to master by stepping back into the coach's box, then going, is that the right way of thinking? It's not. So move myself to more masterful thinking, and then trusting and sitting quietly and getting connected to the master within is a game changer. But sometimes you need to step into the coach's box to assess that. Okay, so when you step into the, like for instance, with a lot of my athletes in the past, when they're having a shocking start to the game, say for instance, they have had not many possessions in the first part of the game, this is what they do. So they'll actually see themselves at quarter time or half time, wherever it may be, and the coach is talking, or during the game, they'll just literally sometimes physically step out of themselves. And the child mind in that situation is like, I'm worried about winning, I'm worried about performing, I'm worried about my opposition player, I'm worried about my skills, I'm worried I stuffed that kick up, I stuffed that pass up, I'm beating myself up. So you're getting out of flow. Okay, so what they do is they step back into their coach's box, and then they go, righto, there's my child mind at play. It's overthinking, it's over worried, it's playing its role, it has the mentality of a 12-year-old. So let's move out of that and move more to more mastermind. And so when you move into your mastermind, you're more excited, you're more in the moment, you're more like competitive, and you don't care about what other people think. You don't care what your opposition player's saying, doing, whatever. You don't worry about all that. All you can control is what you can control, and that's your skills, that's your energy levels, and that's your determination to excel in this game. And don't worry about the outcome. Don't worry about if your skills are going to work, because you've got the skills. You've been at it for a while. And this refers to everybody, not just elite athletes, as a parent, as an executive. You've got the skills of a parent, but if you're running your parenting style on a child mentality, you're going to just get yourself more caught up in high levels of emotion. So when you go to your master side, you actually release emotions and you go to passion. So instead of worry, fear, and so forth. So to break that down is to understand that these are the sort of personality typesets that would sit within the child. Control freak, impatient, always worrying about tomorrow and yesterday, moody, high ego, aggressive. So this is the mentality, again, of a 12-year-old, if that's their style. So when you're trying to control someone, or you're impatient, or you're consistently worried about uncertainty, like for starters, we all don't know why we're here. I mean, unless you've worked on yourself, I know very much why I'm here, but most people don't know why they're here, because it's the veil of forgetfulness. That's why we're here, is to actually not know. We're not supposed to know, so we can design and create who we want to be. And so really falling into understanding that the child mind is a control freak, right? It's here. They're all safety mechanisms. A victim, I need to be treated better. That might be the case. You need to maybe set new boundaries, whatever it may be. But carrying victimhood in your mind as soon as you wake up to go into bed is exhausting. So all these here are depleting your energy. Where when you go to more the mastermind is really understanding that this is raw energy. This is untapped resources. That's God-given right for you to have. You have it within you now, but your child mind blocks a lot of this energy. So this is really getting in acceptance. No matter what happens to you, what happened, your past, your present, and going into the future, is accepting that this is an adventure, accepting that we are emotional beings and we're all carrying raw wounds emotionally, everybody around the world, because of the way the human existence is created. It's really about, mate, we cop it a lot as children, and we, because we're not taught skills like this, which I'm teaching you today, in school. So when you really fall into forgiveness and understanding and acceptance and really start living by purpose and passion and giving back and all these heart-centered modalities, then life starts to get in flow. And this is the thing. So like a footballer or an elite athlete or any athlete, when they play on excitement, when they play on genuine, just win and have fun and be the best I can be without having any concern of when or how this is going to take place, when we're going to win, how we're going to win, that's all good. You need to have a game plan, the basics, but get out there and have fun, look after each other, play your role. And don't worry about too much, because the child mind is the worrier. The mastermind knows how to get you through the game with the highest level of energy. So when you spend more time in your mastermind, your energy skyrockets. It's very renewing. And because you're actually tapping into an energy resource that is available to you, but gets blocked all the time by your child mind. Okay, I'm hoping I'm sort of making sense here. So at its core, if you think about the conversations that a child would have, I mean, they just sort of go into this. I'm not good enough. I'll probably mess this up. What if they don't like me? I don't have enough time. All these are safekeepers. They're gatekeepers to actually allowing you to fall into flow. So yes, you may need to build confidence through competence by getting experience in that sport or that new job or whatever it may be. That's fine. But generally speaking, you're really going into the state of excitement, the adventure, the allowance. And yes, there's no such thing as perfect, by the way. No such thing. It's impossible. The word perfect should be taken out of the English language. Because if I was like, how many times do you hit your head on the car boot? How many times do you knock your knee, drop your keys, lose something? Well, we are made to be imperfect. So loving that, okay? But the child mind is hyper judgmental, like you're stuffed up again, all these sorts of things. And so really going into the fact that sitting in the coach's box, understanding the conversations the child mind has, and then really oppositing them a lot of the times. And not only that, let's move this out of the way, is like, it's just small things. Now, this is just small things to how to get yourself into the mastermind by just the way you communicate with yourself. And we use technology through our custom-made mobile phone app to remind you all the time, where's your thoughts, child or master? Now, that's just one thing, but the benefits far outweigh just changing the conversation. It's a starting point. It's really about when you get in alignment where your body, mind, and soul are all in flow, things will work out for you. So when you live the blueprint why you're supposed to be here, because there is a blueprint, your job is to remember why you're here. So this is a part of your remembering. So the master within us is really who we are. The child within us is really what we've become through our upbringing, through our program, through society's matrix. So the more you step into your master self, you start breaking free of the matrix. And it's far more fun, far more powerful and exciting. And your energy goes through the roof and people will see it and feel it. And if you're a coach or a therapist or anyone in the service industry helping other people, people are attracted to your energy and your experience and your intelligence, but it's your energy they're after. So when you clean out the child mind into your mastermind, okay, they feel the energy that you've got and they want that. They will buy your services by that because you come from a higher vibration, a cleaner filter, you've worked on yourself, and so energetically, you've got what they want. Plus, you've obviously got to have the backing, the systems, the program, the technology, all those sorts of things. But generally speaking, you can feel it. You can walk into a room, you can tell people who have really mastered up. And they're really in control of their emotions. And they're really in control of the way they process the inner world. And they're really in control of the way they react to circumstances, because you're only as good as how well you manage pressure as a human being to become master of your own life. So I hope that resonates with you, because quite simply, it's from every moment now onwards, choose your thinking. Do you want to be mentored by a 13-year-old or do you want to be mentored by a 500-year-old Sherpa who lives the test of time, using that as an analogy, but an experienced, masterful Sherpa, a Sherpa who's already been to the top of the mountains, a Sherpa that already knows your dreams are achievable, a Sherpa that's calling for you to follow the master within you. You have it right now. It's available right now. Are you activating that right now? So when you get the body, mind, and soul all in equal balance, so yes, you need to work on the body. That's why we run biohacking programs, 7-day challenges, like breath work, nutrition, gut health, and all these sort of ice therapies and so forth to get the body in the highest level state possible. So your best version is a rounded, wholesome, beautiful person who's well in control of themselves. And then your kids will see this, your friends will see this, and you naturally will become more of a leader, if that's your thing, or you'll naturally become more of a person of a go-to or higher intelligence. There you go. So I just wanted to share that with you. Take it on board for what it is. Most importantly is to get into the coach's box and really assess your thinkings from here on in. Now, if you're a coach, you're a consultant, a therapist, or a leadership coach or a trainer, then I've got a free training underneath this. You can tap into that to give you a bit more experience about how we go about we do, lots of models and so forth in this YouTube channel. If you like this video and you got value from it, please subscribe so it helps us build our business out, because our vision really is to impact millions of people across the world, and we're having a great time doing it. And thank you so much for going the distance. Take care.